What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Into Somewhere Sports, Episode 7. Today, we are going to be talking Jurickson Profar suspension. We're going to be updating you on the latest results in spring training. And Isaiah's got a little college football action for you and who he thinks is going to get drafted into the NFL and has a likelihood of making an impact into next NFL season. So what's up, Isaiah? How you doing?
How is it going, man? It is, what day are we recording this on? Is it a Tuesday?
It's a Tuesday. Yes, it is. Not Wednesday.
It's a lovely Tuesday, guys. Snow is more here soon.
Yes, sir. So, Jurickson Profar got suspended from the Braves, or in MLB in general, if you would want to say. Then Braves designated him for assignment, but he is suspended for a full 162 games. What are your thoughts, and does this impact the Braves at all?
Do we know the reason?
Drug test. I failed the drug test, yeah.
So does that mean he won't be able to play for the Netherlands? Oh, wait, the Netherlands made it.
Well, he can't even play. He's suspended from MLB. I don't know if he can play any international baseball leagues, but yeah, performance-enhancing drugs for the second time. This is his second suspension. So I doubt that he's able to play internationally right now because
Probably
this is
not.
his second suspension. And do you think this impacts the Braves at all?
Jurickson Profar. He's a reliable bench bat. He's good at fielding. Not really.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be doing stupid shit like that, and then you wouldn't get yourself into that type of situation, you know? So,
Exactly.
it's all on him, and I don't know what else to say about this, man, but spring training, we'll get into spring training because this guy clearly did some no-no stuff, and there's no more to touch up
For
on
sure.
this. So, spring training results the last few days, you want to
There's
know?
some teams that are the Dodgers 8 the Giants, the Braves 8-2, the Yankees 8-2, the Pirates 9-2. Does that mean these teams are going to perform well, or just some
I
of
don't know.
these teams are going to
Depends
perform
because
well.
a lot of them are playing their AA and AAA players, so I guess it's always
You're right. The
matters
Dodgers
for
have played
future
a lot
aspect.
of starters.
The Dodgers have been playing their starters.
They've been playing.
I'm shocked because you really don't want to do that too much because you don't want any risk of injury for
Right.
the regular MLB season when that comes around. So I don't understand why the Dodgers
They
are
have
doing that,
been
but I
playing their
guess
starters,
that
but
does
they've
show.
been taking them.
That's fair. And Dodgers just show that they have a good farm system as well. It's crazy that they have a
How
great
do they
major
always
league
have
team,
such great
and
farm
then they can
systems?
still have a great farm system. I don't know how they do it, but they are doing baseball right there in business aspects. And people can say they are ruining baseball in a way, but the teams that ruin baseball are the cheap teams that don't want to spend anything on their team. And then you have teams like the Rockies and White Sox every year breaking records for having the worst MLB record in the history of baseball. So who's really rooting baseball? Someone that's becoming the best team and breaking records for most wins, or who's breaking records for least amount of wins? I think it would be least amount of wins. We should punish the owners that actually don't spend instead of trying to have a lockout so we can do a salary cap. We should more likely have a salary floor because I think when every team starts spending, more teams will be competitive. And that way, I think that will do better for baseball.
You should never tank if the prospect that you
baseball,
draft first overall does not become a star next year, unless it's Paul Skeens.
No offense. That's what I was about to say. I don't understand the tanking aspect in baseball. A lot of teams do it, but in all honesty, no offense to MLB, but your draft picks aren't as important as an NFL draft.
There's been very few prospects over the last few years that I would have tanked. Like Paul Skeens, probably, Mike Trout, probably, but that's about it.
Because a lot of these teams, like tank, even though these players won't be on their team for another 3 to 4 years. But in NFL, people compare it. But NFL, these players are usually an immediate impact on your team. So I understand the tanking situation more in the NFL rather than in MLB
or in the NBA because the NBA loves.
Yeah. Whoa. They love them.
They
Jesus,
do love
we're
them
already
young.
Getting canceled.
All right.
Oh man, this is getting tanked immediately. Look what we did. But what do you think of the Mets then, who are 5-3? See, I think everyone plays a weird amount. No one plays the same amount of spring training games.
No, not really.
So, what do you think of the Mets being 5-3? Who do you see as a standout right now? If you followed anything from them?
So the Mets, they've actually for standout. Really liked MJ Melendez. That was a really good pickup by. When did you guys pick him up?
I think it was like a minor league option, no?
Yeah,
Like
probably.
David Stearns does like smart contracts like that, and they can turn into something, and it can be something really good, and it just is for cheap. David
Yeah,
Stearns is a mastermind when it comes to that.
I like the MJ Melendez pickup. I don't remember what game, but I remember watching him hit 2 home runs in a game. I forget what game, but I was watching that game. He impressed me. And then
Carson Bench,
Christian Pache also impressed, but he's a lot old. He's supposed to be a star.
damn right. My my biggest interest with the Mets right now is Carson Bench and Christian Scott. I think both of them have very high potential. I think Carson Bench has really high potential in the outfield. I think he looks like he can be a great base hitter, and people are saying he's got some power on him too. So, which could lead to great success for this team. I don't know if they want to kind of risk it with a rookie this year if they're trying to win it all this year when there's a lockout pending in 2027, but to each their own. And I hope it works out for them because everyone around baseball is saying this guy is going to be a stud. So hopefully people are right because I know the Mets jinx like that. Like you hype them up so much and then they end up fucking collapsing. I don't want to see that for him, but I think we have something there. And Christian Scott, like he got hurt last year, and I think he has a potential to be a bounce back candidate and do a really good job in the Mets rotation. I don't know if they want to start him in AAA because he's been out for so long. I think that's the best deal for him for now, but those are my two high hope guys right now, if you want to call it that.
I'm really high on Kevin Antera, but he is in the
Mm-hmm.
outfield. But Seiya Suzuki's getting older, but Seiya Suzuki and really. But and then my real prospect that I think is gonna blow out, maybe blow up, even maybe this year, Moises Baustors.
Yeah.
He's a catcher. He's our catcher, I believe. We need a better offensive catcher. We've always had good defensive catcher.
Yeah, it's like a rarity nowadays, like with catchers being great offensively. Like, you don't, that's why if you see a great offensive catcher, like teams really want to get that because you don't get that as much nowadays. What do you think though is better for catcher? Would you prefer a better defensive catcher or a better offensive catcher?
I'd prefer offensive because the players are getting so fast to the point where it's going to be almost impossible to throw out or stealing base.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people discuss this, like you do for a pitcher with DH. Do you think there should be a DH option for catchers because they're just bending down the whole time throughout half of an inning, and they have to get their legs ready for? So it's the same kind of instance, or should there be a designated runner for them every time because the pitcher has it because they're using their arm? So I don't know if you agree or disagree with that take. I've seen a lot of people say that.
I don't think batting or we had
What about catcher? DH for catcher. Like that's been a
I
take
think the
people
catcher
had.
should still hit the catcher position. A lot of catchers still like to hit like Cal Riley. I'm pretty sure Cal
I
Riley
agree.
he finished second.
See, that was just a good take. Maybe like not DH. Like you don't need to replace him for hitting, but I do see the potential if he does get on base, you can have a designated runner for him. I don't know if that will work like for all catchers since they're using their legs a lot
Then you'd have to
throughout the game.
substitute the catchers out for.
I wouldn't think so because they're just designated for that because you're not substituting the pitcher when you are having someone hit for them kind of thing because the DH is like the substitute for the pitcher. It's the same
Right.
kind of concept.
Who has gotten attention.
Who?
So yeah, it definitely has to. I mean, he currently something 11.
So what are you saying? A lot of your interests are from the Mets. Do you see the Mets being a good team this year then?
Another interest. I really enjoy how Willie Cash.
Yeah, I mean, like it just depends on people like him. Like when you're getting up there in age, are you gonna
Willie
be
Castro's
washed
hitting
or
a
are you gonna have
730
one more
average
year
right now, spring
left in you?
training.
Which worries me because he's getting up there in age, right? And like, are you going to use all your energy already, and you're not going to have any left for
Right.
when the regular season starts?
I mean, he's
So
on the Rockies, so his team
He's like
doesn't
one of those
even matter.
questionable situations. That is true. Again, teams like the Rockies, like that's what ruins baseball because how can you have such a pathetic
Team.
laid out team right there where you can only win and muster up like what 40 wins tops? I think that ruins baseball more than with the Dodgers.
Make a
Sneaky run.
maybe not to the playoff, a sneaky run to not be.
You think they can reach 80 wins this year?
If you watch them they got a lot of new players. I'm pretty sure they got Miguel Vargas. They picked, he used to be one prospect.
You know who my dark horse team is to have a good year this year?
Yes, I love to
The
hear.
A's. I think the A's have a sneaky
The
little
Angels?
potential to be a good team. No, the A's, like athletics, that A's.
Yeah, we're talking about those A's.
Yes, those A's. I
The
think
real A's.
the real A's of baseball. But I think they just have something in them. They got additions like Jeff McNeil. I think they still have Luis Severino, who is a decent pitcher. They got a good team around them. I think what's that guy's name in the outfield?
They signed two players, Tyler Sauter. They signed him.
Yeah, I think A's are going for it because they're getting a stadium soon, so they're trying to create something for when their first year of their new stadium is there. They have a World Series caliber team.
Re-signing
Brent Rooker is a top stud for them. I don't think they're going to trade him at all. I think he's going to be like the centerpiece of their team now.
Oh, no.
He's 31. I think that's like your. I think 31 is peak, and then like people say after that you start to decline a little. I think he has a few years left in him.
Maybe he'll hit 70 home runs.
He's a stud when it comes to the power hitting. So yes, he does. Who else? You want to go over let's go over yesterday's games for people just to keep everyone updated. Okay, yesterday. You ready? Okay, we'll go the last few days because it was half and half. So March 1st, the Yankees beat the Phillies 5-3. The Braves and Twins tied 2-2. Yes, there are ties in spring training. They're not going to go extra innings.
Spring training?
Yeah, because they're not going to go extra innings because they're not going to make all the players get worn out for a game that doesn't matter. Well, would you make them do extra innings for a game that doesn't matter? Yeah, you never really hear of ties in baseball, but yes, in spring training, there are ties. If you didn't know, now you know. Marlins beat the Nationals 3-0. The Braves beat the Rays 5-3. The Orioles beat the Red Sox 8-7. The Blue Jays and Tigers tied 4-4. The Pirates beat the Cardinals 6-1. The Mets beat the Astros 4-3. The Guardians beat the Rockies 3. The White Sox beat the Cubs 5-1. The Dodgers beat the Angels 4-3. The Giants beat the Padres 9-1. The Royals beat the Brewers 3-1. And then the Athletics beat the Reds 12-4. The Diamondbacks beat the Guardians 9-6. The Rangers beat the Mariners 9-4. The Cardinals beat the Marlins 3-2. The Nationals and Astros tied yesterday, and that was 3-3. The Rays and Pirates game. Pirates won 4-1. The Braves beat the Tigers 5-2. The Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 7-6. The Reds beat the Cubs 17-9. The Giants beat the White Sox 6-5. We have to talk about it. We'll get back into that soon. The Rangers beat the Guardians 3-1. The Angels beat the Royals 5-4. The Dodgers beat the Rockies 7-5. And the Athletics beat the Padres 7-2. And today's games that haven't happened yet. Just giving you today and tomorrow because they split up the teams. Today's games you'll have Rays and Twins, Phillies and Rays. Yes, it's weird to have them have two games, but the teams do split into two.
Bro,
and
the Astros, right? They are absolute garbage right now. They literally just got their first win of. Oh wait, they didn't even get there. They tied. They don't even have.
Yes, sir.
They've only gotten one.
Indeed. Back to the topic here. Rays. Have two games today. I don't know if you knew this, Isaiah, but in spring training, not a double header per se. You split the team into two because you have the AA, AAA, and Major League team there, so you have enough to split your team up into two. So one of their games is at home, one of their games is away. So that's why Rays are at the Twins spring training stadium and at 105, and Phillies are at the Rays spring training stadium at 105. So same time, but it's weird. I don't know why they do it, but yeah, they split up the teams into two for spring training. So again, the games today are Rays and Twins, Phillies and Rays, Dodgers and Guardians, Padres and White Sox, Angels and Mariners, and tomorrow's games are Astros, Orioles, Yankees, Red Sox, Diamondbacks, Athletics, Cubs, Brewers, Mariners, Giants, and I'll just go the rest of the week. You got Cardinals, Pirates. You got Twins, Yankees, Blue Jays, Braves, Mets, Nationals, Orioles, Rays, Red Sox, Phillies, Astros, Marlins, Diamondbacks, Cubs, Dodgers, Reds, Padres, Mariners, Athletics, Angels, Brewers, Rockies, Rangers, Royals, Guardians, White Sox. And then Friday, you got Nationals, Astros, Phillies, Pirates, Red Sox, Tigers, Cardinals, Orioles, Pirates, Blue Jays, Reds, Giants, Mariners, Rangers, Rockies, Athletics, Angels, Guardians, White Sox, Diamondbacks, Brewers, Braves, Twins, Rays and Yankees, Mets and Marlins, Royals and Dodgers, Cubs and Padres. And Saturday, to end the week, you got Marlins, Astros, Rays, Red Sox, Orioles, Braves, Twins, Orioles, Pirates, Tigers, Mets, Cardinals, Blue Jays, Phillies, Athletics, Cubs, Rangers, Giants, Reds, Royals, Padres, Guardians, Giants, Diamondbacks, White Sox, Mariners, Brewers, Angels, Athletics, Yankees, Nationals, Rockies, Dodgers, and that will sum it up until we get into Sunday starting next week.
All right. So there's one thing I want to talk about that we don't really talk about. It's college basketball. So we're about to get into conference championships and then into March Madness. But the talk of the country is Miami, Ohio in the Mid-American Conference. They are 29-0 and they are 2 games away from being, and they still aren't even 50% to make the March Madness just because they play bad teams. I think that would be absolute robbery to take away a team that wins, like, say they lose in the championship of their conference tournament. They'll have 34 wins. They'll be 34-1. That means they would not make the March Madness. I don't.
See, I'm not following too much into basketball again. I've lost my touch with basketball because I think the rules have gotten too
College
pussified.
basketball is still pretty rough.
Yeah, I might have to watch some March Madness games so I can talk about this topic with you more. But who do you find as like standouts and like that you're looking forward to see in this March Madness tournament with these college players? And who do you think, prediction now, and we can go back to this in the future, who do you think makes themselves known in the NBA in the future?
So AJ Dybinasta, he is a player for Brigham Young University. Averaging 5 points, and he's a dog. He literally can. He makes every single shot, and that's why he's probably going to draft. And then you got some. I really enjoy all Brass team that are Caucasian. They're making us Caucasian brothers.
Making basketball white again. What? Oh shit.
Oh,
man.
Say that.
I'm kidding.
I don't even think
kidding,
it's ever
folks.
been white.
You said it.
I think it's. I feel like basketball has always been one of the most equal. You know what I mean?
Well, if to be fair though, if basketball was primarily white, this sport would suck. I think black people are way better at basketball than white people.
Exactly.
So I don't even mind that. That's why it was a joke, ladies and gentlemen. And if you try to clip it, a certain fan base out there, and send it to somebody and say, look what he said, like, just, no, we got the full context out there, you know. If you know, you know. But
we just said they're better than because they are.
Yes, they really are. That was why I said it was a joke immediately, because I would prefer to see, honestly, black people in the NBA over white people because they are superior at that sport than we are, okay?
Exactly.
That is true, in fact. Anyway, anyone else you got that you like?
Okay, so guys that I actually have to go to Cameron Booz. He is the son of a great basketball player. He's just a dog, man. He's averaging like 22, 7 and 7. He's so good.
Right.
And then you got some that I really like. CJ Cox. No, not CJ Cox. I like Oscar Clough and Fletcher Lawyer and Braden's, but they're all really.
I want to see how bad you are good that you do in this scenario. Like, obviously, you're not going to nail all of them on the call and say bingo, but I want to see how close you can get. And we can go back to an episode like this in the future and see if you were right or wrong, if we remember this. But all the guys you just named, tell me what team you think they could potentially get drafted to. I just want to see if you have any guesses and maybe.
So I think AJ Dybinasta or Cambu. You think of the really names in them, and then we obviously know that their lottery is a random draw.
Yeah.
And so you bring the top 15 teams, and then who do I think's gonna... Unfortunately, you know who I think's going to get the first overall pick? The best team in the
Who?
fucking league, Oklahoma City. They had 3 first-round picks this year
Oh,
because of
Jesus.
how good they've been trading. They had 3 last year, 4 the year before. They've just been trading like they're the best team ever. And then they turned
We'll get
into the
a
best
top
team.
3.
And then, yeah. My top 3 is probably OKC. The Wizards, I think they still have their first overall pick. And then probably Atlanta now.
Yeah.
Just because I think, well, I'm probably
Well, who
a
do you
bit
want
wrong.
him to see him on the least? What team?
It had to be OKC, because if you give OKC another score, the league's just screwed.
Yeah, I feel it. Next player. Well, give me 3 players, and we'll
I could give
in
you
their
3
top 3s,
players.
and all their top 3s, and then I have a question about the draft lottery after this.
So my third player, it's probably going to be Koa Pete from Arizona. He's a really good player, and he's probably going to go second or third, or he's probably going to go third, but he's going to go third to probably the Wizards, and then I'd say number is going to actually be OKC, Cameron KC.
Yeah, imagine if they all go. Then your last guy.
OKC just trades. OKC just trades for the top 3. All right, guys, we're gonna actually. You know, the NBA has a rule that they can't trade previous year's first round pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
It's called the stipend. Is a team was trading all their first round picks to either get picks for future pick, like a lot of future picks, or get players. And then they realized that his team became absolutely overpowered, so they had to make a rule.
That's a fun rule. If you didn't know, now you know. I didn't know that, so I'm learning myself here. Again, I haven't watched basketball in a while. I need to get back into it so we can discuss it more on here. But your last guy, you said you had someone else like for your top 3, right? You had one more.
Obviously young. I'm really good.
That's fair.
I like he doesn't really play that much. He's young and he will play, or maybe he won't be drafted, but maybe not. But UConn is just a really nasty. And then Florida has some really good.
Well,
but
now I have a question.
Will get drafted.
Now I have a question on the draft lottery. What's your stance on the draft lottery? Do you like it, or should it just be worst team to best team kind of thing like the other sports do?
I don't like it because, as I said, OKC will have 2 picks in the draft lot. They can literally go on and win the championship, have the most wins this season, and have the number 1 and 2 overall pick in the draft.
I think the draft lottery is a broken system, so I kind of do agree.
It's not. It's cheated. It's 100% cheated.
I think that it should just be a worst team to best team. There shouldn't even be a randomizer. If you were the worst team, then you're the number 1 pick.
They started the full-on draft lottery. Sorry.
You're good.
They started the draft lottery, right, to stop teams from tanking, and then it really has stopped teams from tanking. But you can, in the NBA, you can be the 11th team in your conference and still make the.
Jesus, that's stupid.
You could be the 11th out of 15th team in your conference and still make the playoffs.
I think
that's why there's no reason to even sell in the first.
Get rid of the draft lottery, and we can get back to business in NBA and let defense be defense again. That's my other take on NBA. Is there any other topics that you got for today?
So the combine.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you guys to really look out for it coming in. So we have, in my opinion, best player to look out for. Well, you have guys like Sony Styles. Let me tell you, want to know Sony Styles?
Tell me.
Them off the top of.
So just to clarify, this is like college, right? Guys that are getting drafted. And then we'll do a top 3 for that. And then we'll finish it off with just top 3 guys that you look out for in the top 3 teams that you.
So Sony.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first I want to talk about this quarterback. He broke 4 records in the combine. He ran the fastest 40, had the tallest jump, longest jump, best footwork. He was an absolute beast. But the guy I want to talk about is Lorenzo Styles and his brother, Mr. Styles.
AJ Styles. Oh,
AJ
sorry.
Styles, yeah. But Sony Styles. So Sony Styles, I'm going to give you. So he is 6'5", 255. He ran a 4.46 second 40-yard dash, a 1.56 10-yard split. He jumps higher than Nate Robinson with a 43.5 vertical jump.
Higher than Nate Robinson. Jesus.
Yeah, 3-cone drill, 20-yard shuttle, and then an 11.5 broad jump. Absolutely. He's taller than players like he's almost as tall as Aaron Judge, 244 pounds, and he runs faster than the average of NFL play. And then his brother, right? His brother, Mr. Sorry, on names right now, but Mr. Lorenzo Styles, his brother, he ran a 4.27 40-yard dash and had a 39-inch vert. That is insane. Who is their father? What type of magic is he coming?
You tell me.
But the best player, if you're looking out for like a real stud that's going to really shock people, I think you need to pick up like a Toriano Pride Jr. He's really had a great combine. Dylan Thieneman from Oregon, he's had a really good combine. Who else has great? Kenyon Sadiq. He broke literally every single tight end record.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna have you do that. You're more educated on the college stuff than me. I really need to get into the college stuff because it's gonna help me learn for future reference, what I'm expecting for MLB, NBA, and NFL. All those
college baseball is hella fun to watch.
So I kind of want to pick your brain here. Give me a top 5 drafted for NFL this year and their top 3 teams. Give me 5.
All right,
we'll close it out with this because I think
this
is
fun. Making my own mock.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had, well, the first overall pick is going to be Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders.
Yeah.
All right. This is where it gets a little.
What are his other 2 teams that you could see besides the Raiders?
This is where it gets a little different. So the Jets, I think they're going to trade down because this draft class is not good for quarterbacks. I think they're going to trade down to like the 5th overall pick. The Giants will trade for the 2nd. And then with the 2nd overall pick, the Giants are going to take someone very good. But who that is, I'm not sure. I think
what
they're
do you
going
think
to
the
be
Jets
looking
for trading down.
Oh, the Jets. I think they're going to get.
They could get a lot.
I think they're going to get the Giants' first round. Obviously, they're going to drop to their 5th, and then they'll probably get some more picks. And I don't think the Giants will trade any players because I feel like the Giants are going to draft. I think they're going to draft Carnell Tate. So they probably won't that the Jets trade with. The Jets will probably trade with the Browns. And then the Browns with their pick, they're probably going to take a guy. Probably Francis Migoya or Spencer Fanu, however you say his name. They're offensive linemen that are good. And then you got your 3rd pick, right, with the Arizona Cardinals. Yep. They need a lot of help. But I think they would also take an offensive lineman, either Francis McGow or Spencer Fanu.
Choose one because, so we have this for prediction.
All right, so the Raiders, they're drafting Fernando Mendoza.
All right, the 2nd, you said...
I'm just going to keep this easy. The Jets are going to draft Arvell Reese at number 2.
Then Cardinals,
number 3,
you said?
The Cardinals, they're going to select Francis McGow, however you pronounce his.
Number 4.
Number 4, Tennessee. Tennessee's going to go get Ruben Bain. You want to know something funny?
Ooh.
Ruben Bain, his arms measured as the third shortest for defensive end all time.
Oh, really? That's actually a good stat for him. Maybe. I don't know if that's going to help or not help him, but that's...
I'm trying to hug you. You can't reach around me. I'm trying to hug you.
He's going to look like Hornswoggle with his arms out there.
And then I think the Giants with the 5th overall pick, they're going to take a receiver in Carnell Tate.
Ooh.
And then the further it goes on.
So this is very interesting, and I can't wait to see how you did when we come back to this after the NFL draft. Remember this, March 3rd, right? Today's March 3rd. So we're going to come back to March 3rd's video, and we're going to see how Isaiah did with his top 5 picks. And let's see if he nailed it, got 50%, 40%, 30, 20, 10, or 0. Goose egg. Is there any other topics that you have for today?
We have much more to talk about, guys. It's a really
we're in that we have to wait for baseball regular season to start back up for it to start picking back up with juices and stuff like that. Summertime is going to be like really go because then you'll have that trade deadline talk. You'll have all of that.
This will be a pretty good month. We could talk about make our bracket prediction.
Yes, sir. Already. So
we could be recording our bracket prediction app.
I like it. And for next time, we are going to try to make lengthier videos. But again, like once MLB season gets underway, we can kind of like start really discussing it because we'll have 30 teams to talk about. So that's been it for Into Somewhere Sports episode 7. Make sure to tune into the next episode when we get to it, probably by the weekend or early next week. Again, we try to fit it in, or we might throw it in with a UCR if Jake decides to do another UCR this week. But until then, you can find me over on my Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it nowadays, at Judgment Day Era. You can find me over on my YouTube at Judgment Day Era. And you can find me over on my Instagram at Cody_OBD_316. Soon to be all my social media handles once the rebrand officially gets underway. And once we fix that dumb outlet that decided to go out after we set up the PC. Isaiah, you still don't have any socials, right?
No.
Okay, so you can find Isaiah in the YouTube live chats when me and Jake review Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and Into Somewhere Weekly. He's always around in the chats. Oh yeah, and of course UCR-Game Night. You can find him in the YouTube chat trolling me. But until then, we are out. See y'all losers later. Peace out.